ॐ ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परमात्मने नमः। अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता अष्टादशोऽध्यायः मोक्षसन्न्यासयोगः। अर्जुन उवाच सन्न्यासस्य महाबाहो तत्त्वमिच्छामि वेदितुम् त्यागस्य च हृषीकेश पृथक् केशिनिषूदन। श्रीभगवानुवाच काम्यानां कर्मणां न्यासं सन्न्यासं कवयो विदुः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं प्राहुस्त्यागं विचक्षणाः। त्याज्यं दोषवदित्येके कर्म प्राहुर्मनीषिणः। यज्ञदानतपः कर्म न त्याज्यमिति चापरे। निश्चयं शृणु मे तत्र त्यागो भरतसत्तमा। त्यागो हि पुरुषव्याघ्र त्रिविधः सम्प्रकीर्तितः। यज्ञदानतपः कर्म न त्याज्यं कार्यमेव तत्। यज्ञो दानं तपश्चैव पावनानि मनीषिणाम्। एतान्यपि तु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलानि च कर्तृत्वादि कर्तव्यानीति मे पार्थ निश्चितं मतमुत्तमम्। नियतस्य तु सन्न्यासः कर्मणो नोपपद्यते मोहात् तस्य परित्यागः तामसः परिकीर्तितः। दुःखमित्येव यत्कर्म कार्या का- कार्यक्लेशा कायक्लेशभयात् त्यजेत् सकृत्वा राजसं त्यागं नैव त्यागफलं लभेत् कार्यमित्येव यत्कर्म नियतं क्रियतेऽर्जुन सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलं चैव सत्यागः सात्विको मतः न द्वेष्ट्य कुशलं कर्म कुशलेनानुषज्यते त्यागी सत्त्वसमाविष्टो मेधावी छिन्न संशयः ओम तत्सत् Dr. Mara, you can start from where you left yesterday when it
Sure.
comes to some Sanskrit verse or maybe the English transliteration of some Sanskrit. Maybe Bela, can I request you to help out in case you're able to?
I will try. It's not like, hopefully I can review it. So hopefully it's not that difficult. If
Yeah,
I have trouble, yeah, she can help me. That's fine.
because the train of thought and the whole thing will be nice if it is in which is smooth, right? So in case
Yeah.
there is a trouble there, one of us will chip in.
Sure, no problem. I think that all of this, you have a lot of revision of previous chapters, happening in the at least first few slokas, I think. And so shall I go with the Padartha? And
Yeah, I think we did the first shloka yesterday.
yeah, we did the sloka, but we didn't do the Artha here. Arjuna, Arjuna, Uvacha said, Mahabaho, O mighty armed Krishna, Rishikesha, O Lord of the senses, Keshi Nishudana, O slayer of Keshi, Sanyasasya of Sanyasa, Tattvam, the truth, Tyagasya cha, and that of Tyaga, Pritak, distinctly, Veditum Ichami, I want to know. So, by the way, I can't tell who is in the group now because for some reason it only says invite link. So, if Balaji is there, she can read it. If she would like to do that, that's fine with me. Arjuna Uvacha Mahabaho Krishikesha Keshi Nishudana Sanyasasya Tattvam Tyagasya cha Pritak Veditum Ichami. Arjuna said, O mighty armed Krishna, I want to know distinctly the truth of sannyasa and tyaga. O Lord of the senses, slayer of Keshi. So I'll read this again. Arjuna said, O mighty armed Krishna, I want to know distinctly the truth of sannyasa and tyaga. O Lord of the senses, slayer of Keshi. The basis of Arjuna's question. Both the words sannyasa and tyaga mean renunciation, and Krishna has used both throughout the Gita. Now, Arjuna wants to know what, if any, is the distinction that Krishna is making between sannyasa and tyaga. There is a basis for this question. When Lord Krishna says, you want to read this, sorry, Balaji?
Hari Om. What is it, Dr. Mara? You want me to?
No, she said you're going to read the Sanskrit part of this paragraph while I'm reading in English, or you want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you are fine. You are reading perfectly fine. Even the Sanskrit. So if you are comfortable, just go ahead. And if you are having any problem, just let me know, dear.
Okay. Both the words, okay, let me go back again. The basis for the Arjuna's question. Both the words sannyasa and tyaga mean renunciation, and Krishna has used both throughout the Gita. Now Arjuna wants to know what, if any, is the distinction that Krishna is making between sannyasa and tyaga. There is a basis for this question. When Lord Krishna says, Tyaktva karma pala sangam nityatripta nirashrayah, he speaks of the one who giving up his attachment to karma pala. So he speaks of the one who giving up his attachment to karma pala and thus being not dependent upon anything else. He is happy with himself. Here, Yaga is the renunciation of karma pala. But when he says nirashir nirashiryata chittatma tyakta sarva parigraha, he
Hari Om,
talks,
Dr. Mara. Hari
yeah,
Om. They are from chapter 4. I will just chant those 20, 21, both the shlokas.
yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलासङ्गं नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मण्यभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः. Having abandoned attachment to the fruits of action, ever content, depending on nothing, he does not do anything, though engaged in actions. निराशीर्यत चित्तात्मा निराशीर्यत चित्तात्मा त्यक्त सर्वपरिग्रहः शारीरं केवलं कर्म कुर्वन्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम्. Without hope, desire, with the mind self-controlled, having abandoned all sense of possessions, doing mere bodily action, he incurs no sin. Dhanyavad.
So he talks about the one who has given up all ownership towards the objects in the world. The word tyaga is used in the sense of sarva karma sannyasa. So the word tyaga is used in the sense of sarva karma sannyasa. In another place, when he says yoga sannyasasta karmanam, yoga sannyasasta karmanam, the one who has given up all karmas by yoga. Um, Maybe we can do this, Bella. Like when I finish reading the whole paragraph, then you can read the sloka and read that.
Sure,
That
sure.
way it will help
Yeah, yeah.
to,
Sure, sure.
yeah. Okay. So in another place, when he says yoga sannyasasta karmanam, the one who has given up all karmas by yoga, the word sannyasa is used in the sense of the renunciation of karma. In Neyaga Nitya Sannyasi, okay, Neyaga sa Nitya Sannyasi yo na dvasti na kankshati. He defines the sannyasi as the one who neither despises anything nor yearns for anything. Here, a karma yogi is referred to as a sannyasi in the instance where he says, Yukta karma palam Tyaktva santim apnodi naishtikim. The word tyaktva is used to indicate the renunciation of karma yogi, who giving up the results gains lasting peace. He giving up the result gains lasting peace. That's what that meaning from those two verses. So you want to read 3, 4, and 5, which is 441, 53, 512.
Hello, Hariom.
Yeah.
2021 I read, so 441 I'm reading.
Yeah, 441, and then 5th chapter 3 and 12.
Yeah. योगसन्न्यस्तकर्माणं ज्ञानसञ्छिन्नसंशयम् आत्मवन्तं न कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय. He who has renounced actions by yoga, whose doubts are rent asunder by knowledge, who is poised in the self as the self, actions do not bind him, O Dhananjaya.
Yeah.
Gneya.
Yeah, one quick thing for everybody, in fact, since we are referring back to the book, if you want to go back to your book and refer to the slokas, it might help you to understand the whole thing. Yeah, go ahead, please.
ज्ञेय स नित्यसन्न्यासी यो न द्वेष्टि न काङ्क्षति निर्द्वन्द्वो हि महाबाहो सुखं बन्धात् प्रमुच्यते निर्द्वन्द्वो हि महाबाहो सुखं बन्धात् प्रमुच्यते. He should be known as a perpetual sannyasi who neither hates nor desires. For free from the pairs of opposites, O mighty arm, he is easily set free from bondage. युक्तकर्मफलं त्यक्त्वा शान्तिमाप्नोति नैष्ठिकीम् अयुक्तः कामकारेण फले सक्तो निबध्यते. The united one, the well-poised or the harmonized, having abandoned the fruits of action, attains eternal peace. The non-united, the unsteady or the unbalanced, impelled by desire and attached to the fruit is bound. सर्वकर्माणि मनसा सन्न्यस्यास्ते सुखं वशी नवद्वारे पुरे देहि नैव कुर्वन्न कारयन्. Mentally renouncing all actions and fully self-controlled, the embodied one rests happily in the city of 9 gates, neither acting nor causing others, body and senses, to act. श्रीभगवानुवाच अनाश्रितः कर्मफलं कार्यं कर्म करोति यः स सन्न्यासी च योगी च न निरग्निर्न चाक्रियः. The blessed Lord said, he who performs his bounden duty without depending on the fruits of actions is a sannyasi and a yogi. Not he who has renounced is without fire and without actions.
So, shall read this. Then again, when he says, Sarva Sarva karmani manasa sannyasa asti sukham vashi. Giving up all karmas by knowledge, the one who has self-mastery rests happily. Again, giving up all karmas by knowledge, the one who has self-mastery rests happily. He uses the word sannyasa in the sense of sarva karma sannyasa, born of knowledge. But the verse, the anashritah karma palam karyam karma karotyaha sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragni na cha akriyaha tells us that one who performs action because it is to be done, not motivated by the result of action. Again, this verse tells us that one who performs action because it is to be done, not motivated by the result of action, is a sannyasi and the not one who has merely given up the fire rituals or other secular actions. He is the real sannyasi and he is the karma yogi. Here, the karma yogi is equated to the sannyasi. And again, the same idea is conveyed in the following verse. Yam shanyasam iti prahu yogam tam vidhi pandava. Okay. Oh Arjuna, what is called sannyasa is also called yoga. So he's explaining this. I think Balaji, it's better you read this whole page yourself because I try to read it as a line only. Maybe you can go back and read the whole thing. That way people can understand better. It'd be kind of confusing to read split. Or Dr. Brahmarao, whoever wants to read, that's fine.
Hariom, you want me to read the shloka, Dr. Mara?
No,
The
go ahead
shloka?
and read it together because it's kind of
Actually, yeah, Jai Gurudev.
repeating it.
Actually,
It's difficult. Yeah.
the whole of the 18th chapter, if you
Yeah.
remember, we did one reading with Nana once before we completed the, I think when we came to the 18th chapter,
Yeah.
last we did it. It actually has a lot of these English transliterations of the Sanskrit verses.
Yeah,
So
I can
unless,
read it like a regular sentence. That's fine with
right,
me.
right,
But if you want to read it like a sloka, then we have to refer to the book. It's only half of the line given in all this.
correct,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
So what I suggest is,
Mm.
maybe you can continue if you are consistently having some difficulty with the pronunciation, because in Sanskrit the correct pronunciation is important. So in case that is happening, then maybe
Yeah. I mean,
ask
I
Bela to
try
take
my
over.
best, but I'm also
I
learning.
know.
So,
No, no,
yeah.
no. I completely know you have. In fact, all of us have improved
Yeah.
immensely in our, diction of the Sanskrit verses. No doubt about it. But
Yeah.
it's just that um, when there is that flow, it is
Yeah.
it is better for the listener. So that is why I just
No,
suggested
it's
that it will
okay.
not be flow.
If you like to read, that's fine. I mean, I don't want to have this contradiction, like so that it'd be better for you to read together. That's why I said she can read it. I can just when it's completely
No,
English, maybe you
like
can
we
do it.
said,
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
you can continue. In case there is a persistent difficulty, then yes, we'll ask Bela to take over. No problem.
Okay. No
Okay.
problem. Then.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Because you've been
Thanks.
chanting the Bhagavad Gita, no, so you would know a little bit of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But the only
Yeah.
thing is, see, whenever there is um, a line above a word, you have
Mm-hmm.
to do a little dirgha. Sannyasa, that is that.
Yeah.
And then yoga rudha.
Ruda, yeah.
Tada, tat, uh,
Uchyate.
tada uchyate. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Okay. And again, the same idea is conveyed in the following verse. Verse yam sannyasam iti prahu yoham tam vidhi pandava. O Arjuna, what is called sannyasa is also called yoga. The following instances refer to a karma yogi. No one who has not given up all his sankalpas becomes a yogi. Again, no one who has not given up all his sankalpas becomes a yogi. Nahi asanyasya sankalpah yogi bhavati kachana. The one who has given up all sankalpas is called an accomplished yogi. Sarva sankalpa sannyasi yogarudah tada uchyate. Completely giving up all karmas born of sankalpa. Completely giving up all karmas born of sankalpa. Sankalpa prabhavan kaman tyaktva sarvan asesataha. With a mind endowed with the sannyasa yoga, being free, you will come to me. Sannyasa yoga yuktatma vimuktaha mam upashyasi. Those who are committed to me, giving up all action, e sarvani karmani, mai sannyasa matparaha. Gaining self-mastery, then give up the results of all actions. Sarva karma palatyaham tatat kuru yatatmavan. Yatatmavan. The following instances refer to sarva karma sannyasa. So far, we referred about karma yoga. So what are all the things happening in karma yoga? I'll repeat that just a regular text alone. No one who has not given up all his sankalpas becomes a yogi. I'm reading about karma yogi, okay? No one who has not given up all his sankalpas becomes yogi. The one who has given up all sankalpas is called an accomplished yogi, completely giving up all karmas born of sankalpa. With the mind endowed with sannyasa yoga, being free, you will come to me. Those who are committed to me give up all action, gaining self-mastery, then give up the results of all actions. So up to this now, we read about karma yogi. Now, about the following instances refer to sarva karma sannyasa. Renouncing all karmas unto me by knowledge. Mai sarvani karmani sannyasasya adhyatma setasa. That is about renouncing all karmas unto me by knowledge. Mai sarvani karmani sannyasasya adhyatma setasa. My devotee who has renounced all undertaking is beloved to me. Sarva aramba parityagi yo matbhaktaha same priyaha. The one who has renounced all undertaking is known as the one who has gone beyond the gunas. Again, the one who has renounced all undertaking is known as the one who has gone beyond the gunas. Sarva aramba parityahi gunatitaha sa uchyate. sarvaramba parityagi gunatitaga sauchyate. All this looks confusing. The words sannyasa and tyaga are sometimes used identically, sometimes differently. Further, if tyaga means giving up action, that is karma tyaga, there can be no connection to yoga because karma cannot be given up in karma yoga. Doing the anushtheya karma, anushtheya karma, the action that is to be done is part of yoga. Anushtheya. The action that is to be done is part of yoga. Anushtheya karma. If tyaga is given up of karma, between tyaga and yoga, there is opposition. If tyaga is giving up of karma, between tyaga and yoga, there is opposition. Yoga is something that one has to do, and tyaga is giving up. How can I give up karma and make it yoga? If I give up karma, it becomes sannyasa. Naturally, Arjuna has a basis for a doubt. Both sannyasa and tyaga mean renunciation. However, we find that Lord Krishna uses the word tyaga more often than not in association with yoga. For example, in this instance, when he says, Yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tektva atma suddhaye, the karma yogis giving up attachment perform action for purification of the mind. This is a very clear statement. Karma cannot create Atma Suddhi, but if it is backed by renunciation of attachment to the results of action. So again, karma cannot create Atma Suddhi, but if it is backed by a renunciation of attachment to the results of action, Sangam Tektva, it can. Otherwise, karma can only bind you. It cannot release you. And he says, Brahmani adaya karmani sangam taktva karuti yaha lipyate nasa papena padmapatram ivambasa. Like the lotus leaf is not affected by water. The one who performs actions, giving up attachment, offering them to Brahman. Like, I'll repeat this again, like the lotus leaf is not affected by water. The one who performs action, giving up attachment, offering them to Brahman, is not affected by any action. So here this sentence is very important. Like the lotus leaf is not affected by water, the one who performs actions, giving up attachment, offering them to Brahman, is not affected by any action. In instances such as this, the word tyaga is often used in the context of karma yoga. At times, the word sannyasa is also used in the same sense. We will see that word sannyasa generally means renunciation of action. Karma sannyasa. So that is renunciation of action. And tyaga, renunciation of the results of the action. So there is a difference here. Renunciation of action is called karma sannyasa, And tyaga is renunciation of the results of the action, karma pala tyaga. Later, Krishna is going to say, giving up all dharma, sarva dharman parityajya. Take refuge in me, sarva dharman parityajya. Take refuge in me. Here the word tyaga means renunciation of all actions, sarva karma sannyasa, which is based on pure atmajnana, knowledge of the self. So it's a lot to learn here. So there is a sloka number 1866. Okay. In order to gain that, yeah?
Can you read this paragraph again?
Sure.
Both sannyasa and tyaga.
Okay. Just from here, both sannyasa and tyaga?
Yeah, from here.
Okay, good. Second. Both sannyasa and tyaga mean renunciation. However, we find that Lord Krishna uses the word tyaga more often than not in association with yoga. For example, in this instance, when he says,
sorry to interrupt. So, whenever the word yoga is used here, we should understand that it is meaning a karma yoga.
Right.
Right? So, yoga here is, and therefore, this tyaga is usually associated, and Krishna has used it to associate with yoga. And karma sannyasa is sannyasi, is the sannyasa that he's talking about. The sarva karma phala, sarva karma sannyasi. So, as we are reading, I just thought we should keep this in mind. Otherwise, we might get a little lost in the understanding of these words yoga and tyaga and all that. Right?
Right.
Please go ahead, Dr. Mara.
Yeah. So if you want, I mean, some of the things I wanted to read it again. So I'm trying to get the hang of what we are reading in the first place.
If you think you should repeat, even before this, please go ahead and repeat.
Sure. Okay. 1 second. Let me draw the photograph here. Okay. So I'm going to read from here. We read about Karma Yogi earlier, and then the Sarva Karma Sannyasa. I read, right? Is you guys want me to read this just the text alone here? That's the one difference I wanted to make sure that everybody got this.
Wherever you think you should repeat from, and Dr. Savita has asked for some repeat, but even before that, if you think you need to repeat, please go ahead.
Okay. So the basis for Arjuna's question, both the words sannyasa and tyaga mean renunciation, and Krishna has used both throughout the Gita. Now Arjuna wants to know what, if any, is the distinction that Krishna is making between sannyasa and tyaga. There is a basis for this question. When Lord Krishna says, Tyaktva karma pala asangam nitya triptaha nirastrayaha, he speaks of the one who, giving up his attachment to karma pala, and thus being not dependent upon anything else, is happy with himself. Here, tyaga is renunciation of karma pala. So here itself gave the meaning. Tyaga is the renunciation of karma pala. But when he says nirashir yata chittatma tatta sarva parigraha, he talks about the one who has given up all ownership toward the objects in the world. The word tyaga is used in the sense of sarva karma sannyasa. So the tyaga itself here, they given two different meaning. One is renunciation of karma pala, the other one is he given up ownership toward the objects in the world. The word tyaga used in the sense of sarva karma sannyasa.
So based on the context, we need to
Yeah.
understand the word tyaga, right?
Right. So he uses both places. Sarva karma sannyasa also tyaga. In another place, when he says yoga sannyasasta karmanam, yoga sannyasta karmanam, the one who has given up all karmas by yoga. So this is yoga sannyasta karmanam, the one who has given up all karmas by yoga. The word sannyasa is used in the sense of renunciation of karma. So clearly sannyasa means renunciation of karma. In Nyayaka Nitya Sannyasi, Yona Dvasti, Nadvasti Naskankshati. He defines the sannyasi as the one who neither despises anything nor yearns for anything. So, Nadvesti Naskankshati. Here, Karma Yogi is referred to as a sannyasi. In the instance where he says, Yuktaha Karma Palam Tyaktva Shantim Apnodi Naishtikim. The word Tyaktva is used to indicate renunciation of the Karma Yogi, who, giving up the results, gains lasting peace. So this is about Karma Yoga and Sannyasa. So Sannyasi, difference between the Sannyasi and the Karma Yogi is done. So actually he equates Karma Yogi to Sannyasi in this paragraph. Then again he says Sarva Karmani Manasa Sanyasya Asti Sukham Vashi. Giving up all karmas by knowledge, the one who has self-mastery rests happily. He uses the word sannyasa in the sense of sarva karma sannyasa, born of knowledge. Okay. But the words anasritaha karma palam karyam karma karotyaha sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragni nacha akriyaha tells us that one who performs action because it is to be done, tells us one who performs action because it is to be done, not motivated by the result of action, is a sannyasi, and not one who has merely given up the fire rituals or other secular actions. So merely given up fire rituals, other secular actions. He is real sannyasi and he is karma yogi. Here a karma yogi is equated to the sannyasi. Okay. And again the same idea is conveyed in the following verse. Yam sannyasam iti rahu yoham tam vidhi pandava. O Arjuna, what is called sannyasa is also called yoga. So what is called sannyasa? Sannyasa is also called yoga. No wonder he got confused. The following instances refer to a karma yogi. No one who has not given up all his sankalpas becomes a yogi. Nahi asanyasta sankalpa yogi bhavati kachana. The one who has given up all sankalpas is called an accomplished yogi. Okay, the same sentence had been repeated here. The one who has given up all sankalpas is called an accomplished yogi. Completely giving up all karmas born of sankalpa. Sankalpa prabhavan kaman tektva sarvan asesataha. With the mind endowed with the sannyasa yoga, being free, you will come to me. Sannyasa yoga yuktatma vimuktaha mam upashyasi. Thus, those who are committed to me, giving up all action, a sarvani karmani mai sannyasasya matparaha. Gaining self-mastery, then give up the results of all actions. Sarva karma palatyagam tata kuru yatatmavan. So that's about karma yoga. Now the following instances refer to sarva karma sannyasa. Renouncing all karmas unto me by knowledge. Mai sarvani karmani sannyasasya adhyatma setasa. Adhyatma setasa. My devotee who has renounced all undertaking is beloved to me. Sarvaramba parityagi yo matbhaktaga sami priyaha. The one who has renounced all undertaking is known as the one who has gone beyond the gunas. Sarvaramba parityagi gunatita sa uchyate. So, this is about sarva karma sannyasa. All this looks confusing. The words sannyasa and tyaga are sometimes used identically, sometimes differently. Further, if tyaga means giving up action, that is karma tyaga, there can be no connection to yoga, because karma cannot be given up in karma yoga. Doing the anushtheya karma, then the action that is to be done is part of yoga. If tyaga is giving up karma, between tyaga and yoga there is opposition. Yoga is something that one has to do and tyaga is giving up. How can I give up karma and make it yoga? If I give up karma, it becomes sannyasa. Naturally, Arjuna has a basis for a doubt. Now only we're going to have so much of introduction for that question. Both sannyasa and tyaga mean renunciation. However, we find that Lord Krishna uses the word tyaga more often than not in association with yoga. So tyaga is always used with yoga. For example, in this instance, when he says, Yoginaga karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma suddhaye, the karma yogis, giving up attachment, perform action for purification of the mind. So the karma yogis giving up the attachment, perform action for purification of mind. This is very clear statement. Karma cannot create Atma Suddhi. But if it is backed by renunciation of attachment to the results of action, Sangam tektva, then it can. Otherwise, karma can only bind you. It cannot release you. And he says, Brahmani adaya karmani sangam tyaktva karotyaha lipyate nacha papena padmapatram ivambasa. Like the lotus leaf is not affected by water. The one who performs actions, giving up attachment, offering them to Brahman, is not affected by any action. In instances such as this, the word Tyaga is often used in the context of Karma Yoga. At times, the word Sannyasa is also used in the same sense. We will see that the word Sannyasa generally means renunciation of action. Karma Sannyasa. So we will see, read this line. We will see that the word sannyasa generally means renunciation of action, that is karma sannyasa, and tyaga, renunciation of results of action, karma pala tyaga. Later, Krishna is going to say, giving up all dharma, sarva dharman parityajya. Take refuge in me. Here the word tyaga means renunciation of all actions, sarva karma sannyasa, which is based on pure atmajnana, knowledge of the self. Is that okay, Dr. Savita?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Mara.
Okay. In order to gain that knowledge, we have two lifestyles, sannyasa and karma yoga. Here, sannyasa is sarva karma, Here, sannyasa is karma sannyasa, the giving up all obligatory karma, also called vividisha sannyasa. So, giving up all obligatory karma, also called obligatory karma. Okay, that is called vividisha sannyasa. And karma yoga is a tyaga, renunciation of the result of action. This renunciation of results of action is called yoga because it is an indirect means for gaining the knowledge through antakarana shuddhi. Therefore, tyaga and yoga go together here. So, how the explanation is given very nicely. I'll read this paragraph one more time. In order to gain the knowledge, we have two lifestyles. One is sannyasa, and the second one is karma yoga. To gain knowledge. Here, sannyasa is karma sannyasa, the giving up all obligatory karma, also called vividisha sannyasa. And karma yoga is the tyaga, renunciation of the result of action. This renunciation of results of action is called yoga because it is an indirect means for gaining the knowledge through antakarana shuddhi. Therefore, tyaga and yoga go together here. Because Arjuna does not see the difference between sannyasa and tyaga, he has a lingering doubt which is expressed in his question here. His doubt always is which of the two lifestyles, that is vividisha sannyasa or karma yoga, he should opt for. This time he does not ask which of the two is better, but that is not because his confusion on this issue is resolved. He puts the same question differently presenting it as a desire to know the difference that exists between the sannyasa and tyaga. Krishna understands the spirit of the question very well and therefore gives an elaborate, all inclusive answer. Certain questions do not have snap answers, and this is one of them. When Arjuna asks, which is better, sannyasa or karma yoga, it's very clear that he does not understand either. The question itself shows the vagueness in his understanding. If you ask me what is the capital city of a given state, I can give a snap answer, but this is an entirely different question. It stems from a vast vagueness of the whole subject matter, and therefore it has to be answered with care. Arjuna's question here comes from the some same vagueness and made him ask similar questions in the previous chapters. Lord Krishna has spent a lot of time on this issue, and Arjuna definitely must have understood it better each time, but still it is not clear. This time, instead of asking about sannyasa and karma yoga, he asks about sannyasa and tyaga and hopes to hear about his real issue, karma yoga and sannyasa. And his hope was fulfilled by Krishna. Here, Arjuna addresses Krishna as O mighty armed Mahabaho because Krishna was a man of valor. I want to know Veditum Ichchami. He says the nature of sannyasa, sannyasasya tattvam. Not only that, he wants to know the truth of tyaga separately. Tyagasya cha pratak. He addresses Krishna here with two more words as Hrishikesa, the Lord of all the senses, the one who is the self of all, because of whom the senses exist and function, and again as Keshi Nishudana, the destroyer of Keshi, an Asura who was in the form of a horse. He makes it clear that he wants to know Pratak separately. What is sannyasa and what is tyaga? Because he finds that Krishna uses these two words entirely differently, and yet they seem to have the same meaning. Sannyasa means renunciation, but it also has a separate popular meaning. Since he is using these words differently, Arjuna wants to know more about the truth, tattva, tattva of tyaga and sannyasa in the vision of Krishna. Again, since he is using these words differently, Arjuna wants to know more about the truth, tattva of tyaga and sannyasa in the vision of Krishna. Although he only says, Veditum ichchami, I want to know, we understand because of the context that what is implied here is a request. Please teach me. Lord Krishna teaches him, and thus we have the 18th chapter which elaborates extensively on sannyasa. Apart from sannyasa, Krishna also talks about the lakshana of Brahmana, a Kshatriya, a Vaishya, and a Shudra. Then again, he talks about three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. All these we will find in this chapter. Shankara introduces the next verse. So we are going to next verse. Let's saying that here, let me finish this paragraph. In the Gita Shastra, the words sannyasa and tyaga have both been used, but not directly commented upon, and therefore their meaning is not clear. In order to establish the meaning of the words sannyasa and tyaga for Arjuna, the questioner, and Bhagavan continues. The answer continue. The answer is the next one. So, is anything you guys want me to repeat it? It's a long one. Like he said, it's not a simple, even though the question he asks, what is the difference between the sannyasa and the tyaga? But then it seems like simple answer, but then it's not.
So basically, there are two lifestyles towards pursuit of knowledge. In the pursuit of knowledge,
Right.
one is sannyasa, the other one is karma yoga
Mhm.
or yoga. And just doing just doing action is not going to give you antakarana shuddhi.
Right.
That is why just being an ethical person is not going to lead you to moksha. You'll only be an ethical person. But you need to have this karma phala sannyasa. That is, you drop your attachment to the result of action. That makes you a karma yogi. And that is what creates that antakarana shuddhi. Otherwise, we'll be caught up by the raga dveshas. As long as we are caught up by raga dveshas, we cannot give up the result of action. And therefore, we recognize. That is why there is the need to recognize Ishvara for a karma yogi. That contrasts an ethical person versus a karma yogi. And the word tyaga here is not renunciation, but it's renunciation of the result of action with respect to yoga, with respect to karma yoga. And Arjuna's constant doubt from the beginning has been, which is better for me? Is it sannyasa or is it karma yoga? But very beautifully, Swamiji has mentioned, there's no snap answer for that. It is not like asking what is the capital city of of a country. And therefore, here Krishna elaborates about sannyasa. Basically, it is the state of preparedness for him, for his prakriti, he was meant to do karma yoga and not take sannyasa. And then again, sannyasa is not just giving up rituals, giving up the anushtiya karma. It is jnanena tu karma sannyasa. So with knowledge, you give up action. Even a sannyasi does action. It's not like he gives up all action. There is no one who can stay without doing action. Isn't it? So it is with that knowledge, jnanena karma sannyasa. That is a sannyasi. Whereas a karma yogi is karma phala, the one who gives up karma phala, or the one who gives up attachment to karma phala.
Yeah, that is, there are several of them they mentioned right here. That is true. You have to give up the attachment and then do the action without, uh, without expecting the result of the action. So here in this particular paragraph, he's mostly explaining that giving up all the sankalpas, right? When he says sankalpa means like you are basing, you want some result
Yeah.
based on
See,
sankalpa,
Sankalpa,
right?
very right. That is
So
right.
that's why you give up that attachment to it and then do the action and giving up the result of action. That then that is called sarva karma palatyagi. That's where the tyaga comes with the karma yoga, right?
Yeah.
And the sarma karma sannyasa is giving up all actions for sannyasi. Even though he is doing some actions without attachment and without gaining any results of action. But in one place here karma yogi, that he get the peace of mind, he gains the peace but giving up the result of action, but that without expecting anything, right?
Yeah.
Where somewhere we mentioned it
Just like
here.
Patra Mivambhasa.
Right, the lotus leaf, that was a nice example.
So,
Yes.
karma yoga,
Mhm.
practice of karma yoga is not that easy. It is where
True.
for that true antakarna shuddhi to happen. Karma yoga is the way for all of us, grastas and all of us. So,
Mm.
how do we attain that antakarna shuddhi? For instance, we are doing a puja. If you're doing a puja with some end in mind, okay, if I do this puja, I'm going to, you know, I have an exam to give, so I want to get good marks. So I want to do this puja. Then uh, you have an end in mind. It's like the kamya karma. That does not qualify you as a karma yogi. You're doing it because you've come in from the space of, okay, I have studied enough. I have studied, I did all my best. Now I just want to pray and invoke the Lord's blessings. And that's it. No matter what the result, I just want to pray for the sake of praying. You do it from that with that attitude and go and give the exam. And no matter what the result is, you you're not attached to that result. You're not uh, kind of affected by the result, whether you come come out with flying colors or otherwise. You have done your bit. The result is you accept it as Ishvara's prasada. So then that puja that you're doing there is only purely out of joy. It is not for joy. That makes a big difference in the attitude for a karma yogi. Whatever action he's doing is not for joy. It is out of joy and he's doing it because he has to do it. Like you're cooking, for instance, you're cooking because you have to cook. You don't cook because you want to gain appreciation from people who eat your food. Then you're cooking for that happiness. And supposing someone says something negative about your cooking, then you get affected. Whereas you're cooking out of joy, no matter what comments come, you're neither elated nor depressed. So you actually become a dvandvatita. You come out of that raga dvesha. That is where that antakarna shuddhi starts happening. So therefore, that attitude in the mind is such an important aspect.
One of the slokas that we read, I think that says when you treat your friend and foe alike,
Mm.
and you take the I think good and bad, like outcomes or whatever that comes in your way, and you take it with unperturbed mind, like our
Tulya
equanimity.
ninda stutir mauni santushto yena kenachit. Aniketah stiramatihi bhaktiman me priyo narah. I think that is what Krishna says somewhere. He says, whether praise or censure, if your person is able to stay stable, that's the Sthita Prajna Lakshana, isn't it?
Yeah. So to get there, like you said, this guna and all that, you have to overcome all that stuff. The Karma Yoga is not that easy, but you have to work on it.
So just imagine, Karma Yoga itself is not so easy. And what to talk of sannyasa?
Yeah.
Sannyasa is going to be even more difficult in the sense you are giving up your all your nitya naimitika karma. That is why an unprepared sannyasi, a person who takes to sannyasa, just by giving up these rituals, but in his mind he's still caught up. So many examples were given where he drops everything, goes to the Himalayas, and he's still thinking of. There was an example of a person making tea who had a tea stall, and he dropped everything, went to Himalayas, saying, "I want to take up sannyasa," and there he drank tea. We didn't like the taste of the tea, so then he starts off setting up his all his endeavors there are now, okay, now I'm going to set up a tea stall here. I can I can make better tea than this tea that I'm drinking. So where is the sannyasa there? So his mind is still caught up with ragadvesha, so he is not even prepared. So karma yoga is where you prepare the ground, wherein you handle your ragadveshas with this attitude. And then that is why it is called a sannyasi who takes to sannyasa without being eligible for it, becomes like a hypocrite. He's only, it is, there is a shloka also there. It's called a dambachara, I think, right? So it is only for appearance. He's a sannyasi. He may be wearing ochre robes, but in his mind, he's still caught up. Also, in the example of that disciple and the teacher that are that rescue that lady who who that teacher carries on his shoulders and helps her wade over the lake or the river, whatever, and he drops her down and he is moving. And then this disciple is so caught up and so confused in his mind, how can my teacher carry this lady on his shoulder? The teacher replies, he says, I have dropped her long back, but you still carried her in your mind. So that becomes the difference between a true sannyasi and one who is not a true sannyasi.
Yeah.
It is all a mind game. It's all in the mind.
There is a song in Kannada, no? Sannyasi, Sannyasi, Arjuna Sannyasi, they say. I don't know why they call Arjuna Sannyasi. Means still not clear about what is sannyasa. Having more desires, and he just want to wear the robe. Means not at paripakwa.
Even yesterday in Ashtavakra Gita, Guruji was talking about this. And he did talk about the sannyasis who are against something going wrong between the boy and the girl. And though they are away from it, and they keep thinking that they shouldn't be together. When they see people together, like boy and girl, they get irritated. So he says it's not just if you're against it, you're still caught up with it. More or so, you are more caught up with it. So something you are against, that also will bind you.
Will bind more.
Dvesha, yeah, Dvesha will bind you more.
Because you are stuck with it now. Whether you hate it or you like it. When you hate it, you are stuck with it. You cannot be detached from that.
Whatever you resist will persist. So whatever you are averse to will get stuck to you more and more. So karma yoga is the way to get out of this raga dveshas. I like this, I don't like this. That is what we caught up all the time.
It happens unknowingly, no? You don't get to know also, like you are caught up.
That is your vasana. That is
Yeah,
the
That is
vasana.
I think the
exactly.
vritti we are having, no? The vritti, yeah.
Vritti,
The
that is
previous
the vasana.
samskara.
It is because of our patterned it's all vasanas, like Suresh ji said. It's all patterned behavior, isn't it? Over the
Yeah.
years, over the lifetimes, we have come to
Mm.
live life mechanically, without even thinking, without even being aware. So the first step is awareness. Second step is this, I mean, whatever action we're doing, is this coming out of the pure need, intention to do it because it is required of me at that time? Or am I led by my raga dveshas? And well, as a normal human being, you can't help but have some ragas and dveshas, isn't it? Like
Dveshas.
you want to have your food warm, you like it warm. You will not like food that is cold. But having that preference is okay. But supposing that preference is not fulfilled, getting so totally upset is coming under the influence of the raga there. You have a
Craving.
preference. You can, of course, eat food warm. That's fine. But supposing you don't have it, if you're able to still maintain that equipoise in your mind, then you have overcome your raga over there. The senses, that is why in Ashtavakra, Gurudev was mentioning, it is all from the senses. It starts from the senses. This raga dvesha is where it is through the senses that we get bound. And how to
Taste,
get out of the
touch,
senses.
hearing, music,
I think
smell.
the mind plays more this thing, no? The sense organs are there, but still the mind, it's the main culprit is that mind which just go after things and like makes you react and all that, like according to your likes and dislikes. It's the mind which is the main culprit, I feel, because it is not that control you have over your mind, no? That is why we react. If suppose like I was just 1-2 day back, it was like whitewash is going on, so the workload is more. So dinner time was like it was exceeding, and the dinner wasn't prepared till 9 o'clock, and I had to do so much of washing also on that day. So I thought like it's already 9. The food isn't prepared. But that day, I could not light the lamp also in the puja. So I just, after having a bath, I just went to my prayer area, and there I just did my the daily which I do in the evening. I said, okay, it's fine. Till then, I was like, it's fine. I'll first finish this off, then I'll think over the dinner. I sat calmly and I did that. And I was being aware of my thoughts, like how the time is exceeding and the work is not done. But still, I tried to compose myself. And then, after completing my prayer, I just went to the kitchen, like, and the helper who is there, he was there, but he did not cook anything because nobody told him, as I was in bathroom having a bath and washing my clothes. So the people there in the house, they did not tell him what to cook. So after that, I tried not to react, and I just went there and I took out like whatever it has to be made, so that minimum time is consumed. So I I tried to compose without getting malice anytime. And then, as I told him, he was doing, and I myself was helping. Together we made, and then the clothes which to be I had to make them on the rope. I had to put them, so that I just finished off putting the clothes on the wire, the string, and all came down because of the weight of the, I think, or maybe it was one. In the night, I could not see, and the whole clothes, they got dirty. So I was feeling hungry also, and as I had to get up in the morning, so that pressure was there that I have to get up in the morning, and already it is so late, and on top of it, that whole of the clothes, they came down. But I stood still. I said, no, I would not react. And I just picked every cloth. Meantime, that my the helper in the kitchen, he came. No, you go. I will wash them again. You have your dinner. So he came and he washed them again, and then he put it again on the wire. And yeah, it was near about 10 when I started my dinner. But I was being aware of this, of whole the sequence of activities which was going on. And I tried literally, like, I was thinking over that, why this is happening. Maybe there must be a cause behind it or whatever, like. But I tried to compose and compose myself and not to react. That awareness was coming, that this is happening, this is not acceptable to me, but still, okay, it's fine, it is to happen like this only. So that these small activities going on in our daily lives, they only teach you how you can work upon yourself. And next time, I think, whenever a certain other thing will happen, that awareness will again come to me. So I think that this is that the abhyasa which is going in the mind, like you are taming the mind. It's just the taming of the mind which is so important, that even your likes and dislikes, which literally pound on you and they force you to act, they slowly, I think, they start mellowing down. So then I thought that how that mind plays, how this mind forces you to speak out, to react, to do actions in various manner. So this is just I wanted to share. Yeah.
That's very nice. You were in the Sakshi Bhava, you know, you are witnessing it all. Awareness also is witnessing.
Yeah.
You are in the Sakshi Bhava, and you are giving a gap between the action and the reaction. So the gap is more important there. Therefore, you could be composed. And that's very nice, very good thing you have done it. And we should be doing that way throughout our life. Sakshi Bhava.
Shama, Dama, and Uparama.
Uparama. That's what. Sakshi Bhava. Very, very much. Witnessing it. Everything is happening. You are not doing it. You are just doing it, but the happening. So they say, no, when you do it, you experience it. Means
That peace did not disturb my peace basically, because
yeah,
whenever
that's a
you
very good
react, you disturb your inner peace, no, and I don't like that inner peace to be disturbed. So I just had that goal in my mind that whatever is going on, I will not disturb myself because
Yeah,
it's too
good.
hectic going on. But still, I tried my best, and thoughts do came. Thoughts do came. Irritation, it was spurging out. Like, but I said no. It happens sometimes. It's okay. It's fine. So it was only that the important was I felt was that to tame the mind is so you have to do it
Moment by
purposely.
moment. Moment by moment.
Yeah, yeah. It is like intentionally you have to make yourself aware of
Yeah,
that situation, and just like we tame the child, we similarly we have to tame our mind. Yeah.
good.
Like we are thank you for sharing this beautiful thing. I know we are almost coming to an end. Um, it's accepting the situation, not seeing intention behind the mistake, and understanding that the present moment is inevitable. When that clothesline fell down, there's nothing you can do about it. Who are you getting angry with, right? So the present moment is inevitable. And using all these knowledge points of the happiness program, they are meant actually to keep us in that state of equipoise, getting rid of our likes and dislikes. So very beautiful. Thank you for sharing. So we'll stop here today and continue tomorrow. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
Okay, thank you. Do you want to play anything, or we are done with it already?
Today, I think we'll stop here. Tomorrow we'll have a little cushion time and then we'll play something. Okay. Jai Gurudev.